Welcome to the Stock Exchange of Thailand Digital Roadshow with PTT Global Chemical for the first quarter results of the 2020. So before we go into details, we just claim that PTTGC we are focused and apply the ESG framework in our policy and work process. And you will see that we are ranked in the DJSI for the 7 consecutive years, and the past year we also ranked as the #1 in the world for sustainability for the chemical sector. Today we will go into 3 sections. The first section of the briefing on the financial result. The second is about the strategic direction, and lastly about the market outlook. Let's start for the first section for the financial results. As we might see, the results for the first quarter that we already announced last month. On the left-hand side, on the top of the page, you will see that the revenue is increased 9% from the previous quarter to be 93 billion Thai baht. The increasing in mostly from and aromatics business, because in the fourth quarter last year, refinery has turned around for almost 2 months, and that have some effect in terms of the feedstock that's sent to aromatic as well. This quarter, the turnaround is already complete, and the operating rate is back to normal. So, and that's the reason why the revenue is increased. In terms of the operating utilization rate, you will see on the right-hand side in the table, in the blue, you will see that the refinery utilization rate is increased to be 103% in the first quarter, comparing with the 51% in the fourth quarter. As well as for the aromatics, the utilization rate is 97%, comparing with the 87% in the previous quarter. And for the olefin and derivative, it's about 89%, comparing with the 100% in the previous quarter. The reason that the utilization rate of the olefin in this quarter is dropped because we have a planned turnaround for the olefin plant 2 for about a month, and that's the reason why the utilization rate is slightly dropped from the previous quarter. In terms of the adjusted EBITDA, we record the adjusted EBITDA of 6.3 billion Thai baht, or increase 54% from the previous quarter. Besides the increasing in terms of the volume, the margin is also supported mainly from the aromatics, and you will see that the BTX P2F of the aromatics is about $163 per ton, comparing with the $91 per ton in the previous quarter. This mainly supported by the improving in terms of the benzene spread. Refinery, the GRM is slightly dropped to be $3.49 per barrel, and as you might see that they have some impact from the COVID-19 since first quarter. But for GC, we try to mitigate the risk that come from the COVID-19 situation. One of the prominent examples is about the product management. We see that they have some impact from slowdown in the airline business, and the demand for the jet fuel is decreasing. So our refinery have a flexibility to reduce the jet production since March last quarter, and that make the producing of volume of the jet come from like a 15% to be 8% in March, and in the second quarter we are able to decrease the jet fuel to be 0%, or we implement the zero jet policy. We are able to adjust our production mode right away in the second quarter in order to counter with the situation. And if the situation is improving in terms of the airline business and they have more demand in jet, we are able to turn to produce jet within a month. So this gives us the flexibility in terms of production. For the olefin change, we see that the polyethylene average price is quite stable. This quarter is $880 per ton, comparing with the previous quarter, $878 per ton. So that's why when we look at the operating profit, the operating profit in the first quarter this year is about 1.1 billion Thai baht, increase almost 200% from the previous quarter. However, in this quarter, they have a decrease in terms of the oil price from like an average 60 to be close at about 20 at the end of the quarter, and that make significant stock loss, almost 6 billion Thai baht in the quarter, and the exchange rate for the Thai baht is depreciated quite a lot, and that make FX loss for almost 3 billion Thai baht. We have some hedging gain to offset those effects, and that's the reason why when we include those effects of the stock loss, FX loss, and the hedging gain, the net income is reported to be like a minus 8.7 billion Thai baht. On the next page, you will see the effect from the Q-on-Q result. For the operating profit, that increased almost 2.5 billion Thai baht from the previous quarter. That's mostly from the increasing in terms of the production volume from the refinery and aromatics. This might be offset by turnaround volume of the olefin for a month, but in terms of the margin is quite improved, especially for the aromatics business. For the major loss that we have, as we already touched, we have a stock loss in the quarter. Like in the beginning of the quarter, the Dubai is about $62 per barrel, and it closed at $26 per barrel. That make quite a significant loss for the FX as well that we already touched, and that the reason why the net income is reported to be a loss at 8.7 billion Thai baht. In terms of the financial strength, you will see that our financial position is still strong, with the cash on hand is about 23 billion Thai baht. The net debt equity is still low, like a 0.3, that support us in terms of the future funding need. In terms of the debt portfolio, at the end of the first quarter, the average life is about 3.5 years. Average cost of debt is 3.53%. In the future, we can expect that we will have longer in terms of the loan life and reduce in terms of the cost of debt. Like in the April, the second quarter, we issued the Thai baht bond for the PP from 7 to 15 years tenor, and the average cost is about 3.2%. That is one of the key strategies that we try to support our funding need and to support our liquidity. Besides that, we also in the process to secure about additional 30 billion Thai baht in terms of the loan from the financial institute, that we ensure that the company has enough sufficient liquidity to encounter with the current situation. In terms of the strategic decision, But you see that since the first quarter, we have experienced both global pandemic of the COVID-19, and we have the experience of the crude oil price war that hit the oil market, and we see a significant drop in the oil price in the first quarter this year. The expected GDP growth from the forecast of the IMF this year will be decreased from 3.3% to be like a -3% this year. And that's one of the key considerations that pressure to the market. In terms of the supply chain disruption, the logistics is already have some impact on the lockdown measurement in many countries, both in terms of the city lockdown or the country lockdown. There is also impact in terms of reducing in the demand, especially for the petroleum product like gasoline for the passenger car and for the jet fuel for the airplane. For the gas oil for the commercial, is still able to run as normal. The demand for the commercial and the transportation is not impact much. On the below chart, you will see that they have a rough impact that the evaluation from the low to high. The packaging and the medical and home and personal care is what the people have more demand during this period because they have more hygiene awareness. So you will see that in terms of the packaging, the single-use plastic, the demand is increasing during this period. The high impact might be in terms of the more durable goods like the transportation, the automotive business. For GC, we have a measurement in terms of the response to counter with the COVID-19 situation. In terms of our production unit and our workplace, we safeguard the health of our employees through many measurements like a lockdown or the work from home situation to maintain business continuity throughout the supply chain. So even during the COVID-19 period, the plant production is still able to run as normal. The transportation to the customer is able to run as normal as well. Contribute to the society in terms of the fight against COVID-19. We support like medical staff or the society in terms of the provide like a sanitizer or alcohol, gel or other PPE to help them to counter with the situation and relieve the situation right now. And we also have a proactive communication to build trust and visibility with our stakeholders. In terms of the safeguard of our employee, for GC now we still have a zero COVID-19 case, so that's good news for us. We try to implement many measurements since the beginning in order to ensure that our employee and our contractor they are under monitoring and closely screening for the COVID-19. For the screening before the staff and the contractor to enter the site, they have to do the questionnaire and the report in the system that we do it on the daily basis. They have a measurement in order to screening before they enter into the workplace or the construction site. Isolation and control is what we are already tracking each employee through our system. For the physical distancing, our plant operator, they will be isolated for a month in order to ensure that they are in the lockdown place and under monitor during the period to ensure that there is no chance for them to interact with the COVID-19. And in terms of the management program, they already have many programs to support the rating system like a work from home and IT system to ensure that everything is able to run as normal. So this implement since March period. This just gives you the illustration in terms of management for the process area that the operator who enter the production area or the control room, that will be under monitoring and lockdown for a month during their term that they take the operator role. On the right hand side, you will see that we have measurement to control in the project construction area. So based on this measurement, we are able to control all the contractor. It's more than 10,000 of the contractor staff who come to work during this period. And this can support our construction project to be continued as normal. In terms of the contribution to the society, we have contributed in terms of the PPE for the medical profession, like we have material for the PP and PE to produce the medical suit for them. We produce the COVID clear disinfection unit by using our chemical to spray to clean the area. And lastly, we have a hand sanitizer gel that we collaboration with a partner and use our chemical to produce the chemical gel and give to the medical staff and hospital to use in their work. That's what we have done in terms of our measurement to counter with the COVID-19 and ensure that we are able to safeguard from the situation. Apart from that, the company is also implement many measurements to support our performance, like in terms of the cost control. Normally, GC has a zero OPEX growth policy that we implement since last year. But based on the situation that we see now, we increase our target to be cut more than 10% of the OPEX budget that we have. And this is expected to give us additional 1 billion Thai baht in terms of the OPEX cut. Apart from that, we are focused in terms of the production optimization. One of the key things that we just give you an illustration is about the jet production that we implement the zero jet project in terms of the risk mitigation. We also see the optimizing in terms of the crew sourcing and the feedstock optimization in the supply chain based on the situation that change. For the sales and marketing, we try to adjust our sales plan to counter with the current situation. So we see the additional demand in terms of like packaging or the bottle or the cap for the sanitizer container, so that we adjust our portfolio to grab the market. And that's the reason why when we look at our production level, we still able to run as normal because we are able to find the market for our products. In terms of the liquidity preparation, as mentioned, we already issued about 15 billion Thai baht for the PP bond in April, and we are securing additional loan from the financial institute for 30 billion Thai baht to ensure our support in terms of the liquidity management and investment prioritization based on the current situation that you see that impact. So we are under the review of our investment process to see the prioritization and the impact from the current situation to our investment strategy to see that what will be the new norm for the future. We try to accelerate more the high value business growth and to focus more in the interested area, especially for the performance chemical. Even we are in the situation of the COVID-19 and the global economic downturn, the company is still focused in the 3 key step strategy, like a step change that we will strengthen our home base. For the step out, to see the opportunity that we will invest in the international, and the step up in terms of the sustainability development. We still focus in those strategy, and it's an ongoing process that we do. Lastly, based on the current situation, we revisit our strategic plan based on the new normal assessment. So now, on the left-hand side, about our business, for the existing business, we try to see the impact from the new norm in the future to our current business and our project in the pipeline that we have to revisit. For the new business area, we have to see that what will be in line with the new normal, and in that we translate to our re-evaluation for the investment capacity and the project prioritization that will come up to be our portfolio, business portfolio at the end. In terms of the organization, as you will see that during this period, there are many implementations like a work from home and employee, new IT technology into the working system. That might be the new way of the working system that will be employing more digitization in our work. So then there is an ongoing process that we continue for the future. And then that's all for the strategic direction part. So next will be for the market outlook. Yes, so I would like to go through the market outlook of the petroleum and the petrochemical product. So first, in terms of the impact to the petroleum products of the COVID-19 situation, so you can see on this page we show the impact to each of the sector, the end use of each sector for the petroleum product, and also the impact to each refined product. So on the first product, you can see for the gas, oil, and the diesel, the bubble size indicates the size of the demand in each sector. So you can see that mainly for the gas, oil, and diesel, mainly going to the commercial freight and transport, which we can see that has not had significant impact in terms of the COVID-19 impact in comparison to some of the other products like the gasoline and jet product, which had a significant impact due to the lockdown protocol, which imposed a significant restriction on the traveling. So we can see that the passenger transport in terms of car and airplane had a significant reduction in terms of the demand for the gasoline and the jet product. So for us, for GC, you can see that, as Srinjit has mentioned, that we firstly we do not produce any gasoline product for the use for the car, for the passenger car, and also for the jet product, we stopped producing that since around April. So we turned off the jet product into gas oil. So we have the flexibility to meet the market demand. And also, since we are integrated with the petrochemical plant, we are able to turn our petroleum product into the feedstock product for our petrochemical plant as well. On this page, we show the impact to the petrochemical product. You can see also similar that there's the impact. The degree of impact to each sector is different. So firstly, for the packaging and the consumer, we seem to have low impact, and actually maybe positive impact in terms of more demand for the packaging product, and also like single-use plastic for the food packaging. And so that's the sector that have the low impact. Whereas compared to the other sectors such as the construction and the durable goods and transportation, these are the sectors that seem to have the more impact due to the slowdown. Firstly, the slowdown in the construction, and also less demand for durable goods. So these have more impacts on the demand for the plastic product in these sectors. And you can see that for each of the plastic product, they have different demand in each sector. So for example, you look at the polyethylene, which is our main polymer product, the impact would be less because most of the applications will go into packaging and consumer product. And also we can turn more of our sales portfolio to suit more of the demand that's coming from the packaging and also like the consumer and the hygienic product as well. Whereas some other products like PVC, which goes more into the construction sector, like the piping product, they might have more impact compared to products like PE. And also products like PET, mainly using for the PET bottle and also for the polyester production, which also is quite resilient in terms of the COVID situation. So there's also no impact to the PET. So next we look in terms of our outlook for each of the business sector. So if you look at firstly the crude oil, as we are aware that since the start of the COVID situation and the oil price war, which started around March, we seem to see the bottoming of the crude oil since in April, and starting to see the gradual recovery of the crude oil price since the easing of the lockdown protocol, and we're starting to see more demand for the crude oil product and for the refined product. So for the rest of the year, we expect a gradual recovery in terms of the crude oil demand. And couple that with the cooperation of the OPEC Plus producer to start to reducing the production volume. So we expect that for the rest of the year, the crude oil price will probably recover, as we can see that currently Dubai price has already recovered back to close to $40 per barrel. So for the remainder of the year, we expect the range of the Dubai price to be around $33 to $38 per barrel. And in terms of the refined product, if you look at as we mentioned in the previous page, mainly for the gas oil will have less impact compared to gasoline and jet. So we expect gas oil or diesel to be around $10 to $12 per barrel over Dubai. And also for gasoline might be lower at around 5 to 7. And in terms of the VLSFO or low sulfur fuel oil, there's also less impact because there will continue to be demand for freight, especially freight using ocean liner. So we don't expect the spread to be significantly impacted by the COVID situation. In terms of the aromatic business unit, as we are aware that the aromatic business unit in this year will be challenged by the additional supply coming on, especially in China. But since the COVID situation, actually the aromatic spread has actually held up quite well because of the lower feedstock cost from the crude oil price. So for the PX chain, it's actually supported by the increased the strong demand in the PET chain, especially for PET bottle. And also, if we look at the polyester demand especially in China, since it started to resume production, we expect for the second and third quarter will be more demand for the polyester as well, because they will have to start to produce more polyester ahead of the winter season. So if you look at the PX spread is for this year, we expect the PX1 naphtha to be at around $270 to $290 per ton. In terms of the benzene chain, it's actually another chain that's got the positive impact from the COVID, because there's more demand for food packaging, and benzene can be used in the end product for the packaging, like the foam packaging. So we look at the benzene chain. We expect the spread this year to be $120 to $140 per ton. And also it got some positive impact on the phenol chain as well, because the core product of the phenol chain, one of them is called neither acetone, to use for the producing of the hand sanitizer. So there's actually more demand for the acetone, which is the core product of the phenol as well. Lastly, for the polymer chain, for the ethylene chain, as we know, this year there's also will be more demand, more supply coming in online for the new polyethylene tank, approximately around 8 million tons this year. But for this year, as we mentioned, that there's actually lower impact from COVID because of supporting from the food and healthcare packaging and hygienic single use as well. So we expect for the PE price, for the HDPE price, the range this year will be around $740 to $820 per ton. And for the other chain, for polypropylene chain, also the trade has been supported by because of the cut in the production in the FCC in the refinery. So there's actually less supply from the refinery coming into the polypropylene chain. So that will help to support the PP price as well. So I think that's all for the presentation. So might go for the Q&A from the system. With the expectation on the market trend in terms of the oil price and the product price that we see, now you see that they have a gradually increase in terms of the oil price as the COVID-19 have more relaxed in many areas and have some positive development on the negotiation between the oil major. And that's the reason why you see that the oil price, like the Dubai for today, it closed at like $42 per barrel. For our view, this year we still think that, like we mentioned, it will be in the range of like 33 to 38 per barrel. So it will be expected that the oil price might not go more further in terms of the level of $40 per barrel this year. And based on that level of the oil price, the petrochemical price now should gradually increase from the current situation. Like the polyethylene now, the price comes from like $750, now it's close to $800 per ton. So we will still have some positive trend in the second half of this year, but that's subject to the situation of the COVID-19 that will be more improved than what we expect or not. And for the second quarter, if the trend of the oil price will be like this, that might expect some gain in terms of the stock gain, because in the beginning of the second quarter, the oil price is only $20, comparing with $42. In terms of the outlook for this year, in terms of the sales volume this year comparing with last year, it should have some improvement, because last year we have a major turnaround of a refinery and aromatics. This year we don't have only the olefin plant that turned around, but the room is not significant impact. So on top of that, by the end of the year, we will have a new cracker and some new capacity come at the end of the year. So altogether, we think that the production volume should increase like about 10% from the last year, but the revenue and the margin have to closely monitor which is quite fluctuating during the period, and this depends on the oil price trend. In terms of the investment plan, this year we still focus on the committed capex for the project that is under construction and will be complete by end of this year. So the capex this year should be roughly about $1 billion. Next year and onward is no major committed capex. So we might have roughly the maintenance capex each year about $250 million per year. As mentioned, the investment project in the pipeline now is still under review to see what will be the impact from the COVID-19 and the new normal trend in the future. In terms of the selling volume, you can expect that the operating rate for this year we are able to run as normal because even they have some slowdown in some sector, but the sector that we focus like the packaging and the single-use plastic that have a more demand, especially in terms of the sanitizer and hygiene awareness. So we think that the production level this year is able to maintain as normal, and we have no impact in terms of the slowdown from the less demand from the COVID-19. Like many producers who produce like a durable good and that used for like the automotive sector. The impact on the COVID-19 on the demand for the petroleum product. Actually, we already touched in the beginning that we see that the jet production might impact because the spread of the jet is decreased from like in the early of the years from $8 to $9 per barrel. Now it might be zero because of the on ground for the plane and the airline still ceased to operate, and that's the reason why we shift our production volume from the jet fuel to be the gasoline to gas oil. Sorry, because the gas oil now, even though they have a lockdown in the city or the country, the manufacturing and the transportation for the commercial is still run as normal, especially in Thailand. For the gasoline, then we might have some impact because from the lockdown period, people is work from home and the demand for the gasoline is less. But for GC, we are mostly produce the gas oil or the diesel. And when we shift all the jet volume to the gas oil, that means our portfolio will be with the gas oil for like 60 to 65% in terms of the petroleum output, and that help us to mitigate the risk from the demand slowdown for the jet during the period. But as mentioned, if the situation is turned back and have more demand in terms of the jet, then we are able to switch to produce jet right away. We can mitigate the risk from the market. And I think that's all for the PTTGC. As you see that this year, even we are in the situation of the COVID-19 and fluctuation in terms of the oil price, the company still committed by running at a full utilization rate, because we try to mitigate risk from the market demand into potential sector. And for the internally, we implement many measurements to ensure that we are able to have a resilience during the cycle. I think that's all for the PTTGC. And thank you very much for joining us, and see you next time.